Hello guys, welcome back to another YouTube video with Tank People today, and today we're doing what boys and girls, I'm glad you asked, because today we're taking a look at the all-singing, all-dancing new Chinese heavy tanks. That's right, the rocket tanks is finally here within the tech tree. I know this video might be coming out a little bit later, I am sorry for that, but, like I've said previous videos, I'm rather be a little bit late than never, right? But we're going to be going over some of the stuff of these tanks and stuff, the BZ line, which leads from tier 7 all the way up to tier 10. So there's about 4 different tanks in the game. And we're going to go over them and stuff like that, their armor, and a few other things about the vehicle here in the garage. So there won't be no actual gameplay included in today's video. I am sorry for that, but yeah. Now, I'm not gonna go over, the equipment that I rather put onto the vehicle, simply because that's gonna be saved for like a tank review when I get around to getting the vehicle completely upgraded and doing a full tank review of the vehicle. This is just like in its stock form and stuff like that. I know I probably should have done it when I have equipment on this vehicle, but yeah, it can take some understandings of what this vehicle is in its stock form. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the stock gun. Of course, it's a 80, wait, what kind is it? An 85 mil gun, which means the penetration is 165 for standard rounds, 220 for its premium rounds, and 43 for HE. Damage is 220 for both standard and premium rounds, and 280 for HE. Okay, not that bad. And of course, it gets 1,150 hit points. Dang it. Of course, max speed is 30 miles per hour. View range is 330. Concealment is 388. So, with the stock gun. Of course, you get a 100 caliber gun, which is the Type 59 gun, which is going to be a lot more better, which it doesn't look like it's that far of an upgrade. It looks like you just gotta get the radio, then the turret, and then the gun, which looks like you get additional hit points. Another additional 100 hit points. Yeah, so pretty nice in that regards. Of course, the vehicle gets AP, APCR, and HE with its 85, 85? Yeah, 85 caliber gun, which is pretty awkward for a heavy tank to get, but it does lead into, ooh, my bad, the BZ-166 and stuff like that. But let's go see about the armor of the vehicle. So, yeah, looks pretty interesting. So we got 20 meter thickness, which looks like the belly, the tracks, which again, the tracks are act like space armor. Um, 25 meter thickness, which is the bottom part of the turret in the rear and around the gun. Turned, oh my goodness, the turret ring. 30 meter thickness, which is these side bits right here, or in the engine deck and the top of the turret and the cupola. And also these like little side bits where it looks like it gets like a boat shape, like an IS, IS-7. A 35 meter thickness, which is the gun. 45 meter thickness, which is the lower part of the gun mantlet. 50 meter thickness, which is the round of the cupola, the rear of the turret ring, the rear of the hull, and rear of the turret itself. We got 55 meter thickness, which is these left and right bits in the back of the turret. We got 65 meter thickness, which is again left and right of the rear of the turret. Then we have 70, which is the sides of the hull and the upper plate, which it looks like it's a little bit angled. Then we got 75 meter thickness, which is the lower plate. And it looks like, again, rear of the turret as well. 80 meter thickness, which is the actual side plates of the turret and the sides left and right of the gun mantlet. 85 meter thickness, which is actually left and right of the gun mantlet. 90 meter thickness, which is these little bibs on the sides of the hull here and around on the sides of the turret. Around 110, which is these little spots underneath where the gun ring is, not gun ring, turret ring. And then we got 115, which is above the gun mantlet. Then we have 130, which is left and right of the cheeks of the turret, which it looks like because they're angling face on, it looks like you might actually able to bounce off the thing as well. 140, which is the mid plate and lower part of the gun mantlet. 145, which is again around near the cheeks of the turret and the upper plate of the gun mantlet. 155, which is the left and right of the gun mantlet, which is the cheeks of the tank. We have 160, which again is around the cheeks or near the cheeks of the turret. 165, which is the another lower part of the gun mantlet. 170, which is around the gun mantlet and the cheeks and a little bit above the gun mantlet or on the gun mantlet. 180, which is on the cheeks but down near the turret ring. Then we have 185, which is below the gun on the gun mantlet. 190, which is very much a lower part. Looks like yeah, it's the looks like the part where the turret ring is at, with also above the gun a little bit on the gun mantlet. Then we have 195, which is the turret ring, and 200, which is the mid plate of the gun mantlet and the mid plate for the hull. Okay, not bad overall. For a tier 7 Chinese heavy tank. I mean, altogether, this vehicle do seem like it's going to be pretty strong. Especially once you get the 100 caliber gun, which yes, you lose rate of fire and accuracy, but you gain alpha, and and it looks like you do gain a very good penetration. But yeah, the Type 58, that is what this vehicle is. Now let's go and look at the other new toys we're getting in this update. So the BZ-166. So this thing looks like it's going to be a monster on the battlefield. We're just going to find out. I haven't seen really too many of these on the battlefield. I haven't seen too many of the tier 7s. But then I haven't really been playing down around tier 7 today. So yeah, we're just going to wait and see, I guess. But I'm going to be doing a tank review of all these tanks, hopefully, sometime in the future. But yeah, let's get right into today's video about this vehicle. Oh, no. Of course, the upgrade. Oh, wow, this thing don't get a gun upgrade. So it only gets one type of gun, and it only gets a turn upgrades. That's pretty nice. That means grinding through this thing could be pretty easy of getting the tier 9 unlocked. So you only get a radio, the turret, which gives you 1,500 hit points, the engine, and the suspension, and then you unlock your tier 9 heavy tank. Dang it, I forgot to. Alright, so let's look at the. Actually, no, let's look at this right here first before we go ahead and go expect the armor. So penetration, so with our standard ammunition, we get 221, and yeah, this is basically a stock gun on a vehicle that doesn't look like it gets a upgraded gun, which is pretty interesting. Um, and with your premium rounds, you get 270 meters penetration, HE 61, damage is 420 for both its standard ammunition and its premium. For HE, it gets about 550, hit points 1,450, max speed is 30, view range is 330, and consumer is 401. So not that bad in regards, but let's go ahead and look at what this armor is real quick. So we get about 50 meter sickness, which is, well, it looks like spots around the gun mantlet. It looks like, yeah, around the gun mantlet there. Please don't be gun the gun mantlet. And by looking at the tank too, with the armor modeling, it looks like it might have like somewhat of a boat shape. So yeah, but it looks like we have about 20 meter sickness, which is the lower part of the rear of the turret, impress around the bottom part of the turret, and then we have about, of course, 20 meters. That's with lower plate, the belly of the tank, and then also the tracks, and also above the mud flap track area, whatever you want to call them. About 30 meters thickness, which is on the top of the turret and the engine deck, and above where the turret ring is sits as well. We have 40 meters thickness, which is these two left and right bits down below, and the belly, and then also a little bit, that little spot right there of the rear of the turret. We got 45, which is the gun. We got 50, which it looks like is these two left and right spots on the where the track sits, and also the butt of the tank, and a lower bright area. Huh. We got 60, which is the well, a spot be underneath the where the ammunition gets stored, I'm guessing, and we're back of the turret. Oh yeah, a little bit of a deterrent ring as well, and these little bibs and bobs on of the upper right. And we get 75 meter thickness, which is I can't really see it. It looks like it's the forehead. So the forehead's about 75 meter thickness of armor. We got 80 meter thickness of armor, which okay, you're probably never going to be hitting that, but it's behind the turn ring there. Very hard to see. We got 9 meter thickness, which is again uh turn ring, but in the back. But also we also have some around the gun mantlet too. What I could see. Not 100 meter thickness, which is the lower plate, the sides of the hull, and also the sides of the turret, and the around the cabal is somewhat the turret ring and the gun mantlet itself. 120, which is I just don't see it. I might be blind. I don't see it, guys. I could be blind, but I just don't see this one. Oh wait, is it that little view range finder piece? It looks like it, maybe. I just don't see it. Huh. But we do have 135, which is the cheeks of the turret, which looks like if the tank is aiming straight at you and you aim for those cheeks, it looks like you're not going to pin that. So yeah, 140, which is the upper plate. Again, little bibs and bobs on the upper plate. 145, which looks like it's a little bibs and bobs around the gun mantlet. 170, which is around the gun mantlet. 180, which is the looks like the turret ring again. 195, which is the bottom part of the gun mantlet. 200, which looks like a little bit of a bibs and bobs around the gun mantlet. 210, which is the mid plate. 215, which is around the turret ring itself. 235, which is on the gun mantlet and below the gun mantlet. 240, which is again on the gun mantlet, and below the gun mantlet, which is the turret ring itself. 245, which is above on the top of the gun mantlet. 255, which is the bottom part of the gun mantlet. 260, which is the turret ring itself. 278, which is the upper part and in the middle of the gun mantlet, and plus around the turret ring and behind the gun mantlet too. And 300, where's it? Which is the mid plate. Okay, so it's the mid plate. But I have to check something out. What kind of caliber gun? So this thing is a 122 caliber gun, tier A, and it's the only gun to get. So it does not get any other upgradable guns. And it does get only AP, heat, and HE. So and there you go. Next is the tier 9, which is the BZ68. And this thing looks pretty nice in game. Wow, looks beautiful. Oh, I don't know if I did say about this, but I think I did say about the rocket boost, um, being in the previous video about this update about these vehicles. So let's go look at that real quick. Where are they at? Okay, wait, there they are. So rocket boost for the tier 7 is 4 seconds. You get 3 of them, and you can have a duration of 10 seconds for the tier 7. The tier 8, we get about the cooldown is 4 seconds. You get about 4 of them, and 10-second worth duration. So if you're wondering about that, there you go. Now let's go ahead and go preview the tier 9, not tier 10 yet, tank. Not yet. It looks like we get about 248 meters of penetration with our standard rounds, which are bang as AP. I could be wrong. With our premium rounds, we get about 315 and HE about 65. damage, 530 for both premium and standard ammunition, and also 660 with HE. Hit points is 1,800, max speed is 30 miles per hour, view range is 370, and concealment is 395. And it does this thing. It does not. So it gets only a radio, the current, which gives you 1,900 hit points, which are about another 100 hit points or so, engine, and then suspension, and then the tier 10 afterwards. Which it looks like with this line, it does not get any other new upgradable guns. So it looks like the grind could be very much more simpler for these Chinese heavy tanks. Well, let's go look at this real quick. So, cooldown for your rocket boost is 4 seconds. You get about 5 of them, and duration is about 10 seconds. So, yeah. Rest of that stuff I'm not going to go over until I get a tank review about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and go over the armor, which Frontry, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. That forehead, it looks like it's going to be some of a weak spot. That Capoa is going to be a weak spot too. I can tell you that much. People, especially lower tier tanks, is probably going to aim for that Capoa, or maybe if you if your enemies are above you, they're probably going to be aiming down into your forehead. So yeah. But let's look at the armor. So we got 20 meter sickness, which it looks like is a little bit no, it's not on the Capoa. But it's definitely around on the tracks, which tracks act like space armor, which means heat, and any shape charge ammunition shells will absorb around them. Well, not even shape charge. HE heat rounds will definitely um, be absorbed by your tracks because tracks act like space armor. We got 25 meter sickness, which is the belly, and the turret ring. Looks like turret ring, and above where the tracks are, drives or whatever that is called. We got about 30 minutes in this, which is these side skirts and the firing compartment of the hull and the engine deck and the turret. Yeah, just not the forehead, it's just the back of the turret and this little piece right here where not sure what that could be called, a view range finder thing. And we got 40 minutes thickness, which is these left and right pieces of the belly of the tank. We got 53 meters thickness, which is the cupola. It looks like it's a little bit of the cupola. 55 meters thickness, which is the gun, and these both left and right of the rear of the turret. About 60, which is the rear of the hull, and a piece below the gun outlet. 70, which is the rear of the turret, and again, near the gun outlet again. Then we got 75, which is well, as I call it, the forehead, which is 75 meters thickness of armor, which means a lot of large caliber guns at this tier will have the penetration to go through that. So, whatever how much gun suppression you get out of this vehicle, which I know probably didn't really said, but yeah, that's probably gonna be a very much a weak spot for a lot of guns, especially if you're going up against those tier 10s and stuff. 80 mirror sickness, which is left and right of the gun outlet, it looks like. 90, which is again, looks like around near the gun outlet. 105, which is these parts as at the um, rear tracks, the rear road wheels. Yeah, looks like it's right behind the road wheels. Okay, 110, which is the side armor of the whole hull. Wow, okay. We got 120, which is the upper plate, and this little part in the back of the turret and around the cupola. 125, which is the lower plate, which is kind of awkward if you ask me. The lower plate has just a little bit more, 5 more thickness of armor than the upper plate. But then I guess because of the upper plate having its slopeness, it does really help out. And if you use your full gun depression on this vehicle, you're definitely going to be seeing probably round about, for that, especially if they're lower tier and stuff. But okay. 130, which is the like bottom part of the front of the turret plus the sides of the main turret itself, both left and right, of course. 140, which is the cupola. 160, which is the cupola. 165, which is around the cheeks of the turret, 220, which is the cheeks, 260, which is that bit right below the cupola and around the cheeks, 280, which is the full left and right of the cheeks of the turret, 285, which is again the cheeks, 300 is the cheeks, and 330, which is the gun mantlet itself. So yeah, that is the armor of this vehicle. But let's look at something else as well. The rocket's cooldown is 4 seconds. You get about 5 of them, and course duration is about 10 seconds. So again, not that bad for the tier 9, the BZ-68. And let's go look at the final boy, the BZ-75, which looks like a monster in the battlefield. And it looks like it's kind of has you know, the Russian pike nose tier 10 IS-7 way, and somewhat. I'm guessing if you do probably angle it like this, um, you're going to make the side weaker. But I guess we're just going to find out how that does in the battlefield if we do see any of these vehicles on the battlefield. And of course, because this vehicle is a tier 10, it doesn't get no upgrades, even though we got a couple that does, like the E100. But dang it. um, Actually, no. Before we go through the armor, let's look at the tank itself. I don't know if I did say what type of ammunition this vehicle comes with. Let's go check that out first, guys. So, this vehicle comes with about AP, heat, and HE. Okay, that's pretty simple, right? So, with our standard ammunition, we get 258 meters of penetration with our standard rounds, 319 with our premium rounds, and 90 with HE. 650 for both our standard and premium rounds, and 840 for HE. And we get about 2,500 hit points. Max speed is 30 miles per hour. V range is 390. Concealment is 396. Okay, not that bad. And of course, we get a 152 caliber gun. So yeah, that's a pretty big thing. Of course, we get AP, heat, and HE with that gun. And now it's time for the armor, which the armor looks pretty interesting. So we got 15 minute sickness, which is looks like behind the gun mantlet. Okay. About 20 minute sickness, which is the tracks, which again acts like space armor. 25 minute sickness, which is the belly of the tank, and looks like below where the ammunition gets stored, and back here, above the tracks a little bit, and around the turn. Oh my goodness, what's it called again? The turret ring itself. 30-meter sickness, which is these side bits right here on both left and right, and around on the top of the fighting compartment and the engine deck, and left and right of the gun mantlet. 35-meter sickness, which is the rear part and above that little bib piece on top of the deterrent, and press on the top of the Cabela's. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear my dog or not in the background. Uh, Not sure what he's barking at. I guess, hang on, I'll be right back. Let's go see what he's going barking at. Hey guys, and I'm sorry for what, like, my dog barking in the background. I had to go check it out. For you guys, it might feel like a few seconds, but for me, it was like maybe a day or so. So if I do look like I do have a little bit more credits than before, it is because I have been starting to early play in the line and stuff and playing in other types of tanks. But I guess let's get this rest of this video done, shall we? With the BZ-75, the last tank in the line. So let's go over the rest of the armor, shall we? So the next is 40-meter sickness, which it looks like it's like on top of the gun mantlet. It looks like here, and that looks like it's all there is. We have about 45, which is the bottom side bits. It's almost like in a way the Russian IS-7 with the space armor protection and stuff, where its shape starts coming in like that. Which talking about the IS-7, I just got that tier 10 unlocked. So yeah, we got 16-meter sickness, which is the beat back at the tank and where the rockets would sit, and also the well, the roof of the frontal part of the turret and the gun. We have 70, which is the rear of the turret, and down where the turret ring is. I believe that is where that turret ring is. Plus two parts on both left and right of the turret right there. Very awkward armor layout, but yeah. We got 75, which is the where the driver sits, and plus the bit says where that V shape is at as well, both left and right of it. And then we had 90-meter thickness, which is behind the turret back here and the side of the gun mantlet. We have 95, which is the top of the gun mantlet. We have 100, which is these little tiny bits, which is along the both left and right of the hull. We have 110, which is the side armor, both where the space armor protection is and the main hull itself, and plus that little, like, where the engine deck is as well. We have 120, which is the top of the, well, I guess you could say the cheeks of the turret, right? Would you say those are the cheeks of the turret? Then we have 140, which is the lower plate, and also the back of the turret right here. Then we have 155, which is again in the rear or the side bits of the turret. Then we have 160, which is the lower part of the cheeks, plus the turn. I mean, the turns. Oh my goodness, the capo is sitting on the top of the tank. Then we have 165, which is both left and right of the side of the turn, and these little bibs that's like kind of near the gun mantlet a little bit and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, pretty good. We have 200-meter thickness, which is that little forehead kind of piece that's sitting on the top of the tank, and plus the V shape right here as well. We have 220, which is okay. Very hard to see them, but if you sit right here, you can actually see them. They are actually kind of looks like where the turret ring sits. We have 230, which is kind of the gun mantlet a little bit, looks like. 235, which is the bottom of the gun. This one's above the gun. Okay, so yeah. And then we have 265, which is again near the turret ring. Then we have 300, which is, I guess you could say, part of the cheeks or left and right of the cheeks. Actually, yeah, I guess you could say it's the left and right of the cheeks of the turret. Then we have 310, which is back here near where the rocket boosters are, which not sure why they're back here. Don't make no sense why they're back here, but okay. I mean, I don't think you're going to be aiming at that exact spot. And if you are, you're probably more likely going to be aiming where the rockets are, or maybe where the side of the armor is, where you're going more likely to pin the tank. And pin the turret if you decide to shoot it there. And in the rear, you're more likely going to be aiming at mass in the center of the vehicles where the engine is and the turret. So, yeah. Then we have 320, which is again near the turret ring. Then we have 330, which is behind the gauntlet, the cheeks, and the gauntlet itself. So, yeah, something that is going to be very much a thing that you might not want to do is aim at the gauntlet of these vehicles. I always say never aim for a gun mantlet, dude, because you never know, it might be a very powerful gun mantlet and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the BZ-75. But let's look at the rocket. So, like the previous vehicles, the cooldown is 4 seconds for all the vehicles. The duration is 10 seconds for all vehicles, but this one gets about 6 rockets. So, yeah, as you go up through the tech tree, you will get more and more rockets. So let's look at the preview vehicle, the tier 7. So you get about 3 rockets. All right, that's fine. So let's look at the tier 8, and we get about 4 rockets. So we get about 1 more rocket. What about the tier 8 premium their tank? What about the BZ-176? And where's that big boy at? Right here it is. Let's go look at the BZ-176, which again, it gets 4 rockets. So it's the same thing as the Tech 3 vehicle and stuff like that. Hang on, boys and girls. Sorry for that. My dog's trying to sit on my foot. But yes, you get 4 rockets even with the tier 8 premium vehicle, and like the tech tree, you do get about 4 rockets. But what about the tier 9? The tier 9, you get about 5 rockets, so you get one more. So it looks like you get one more rocket per tier, and then the tier 10, you get about 6 rockets. So each tier you go up. Tier 7, about 3 rockets. Tier 8 is both for the premium and the tech tree, you get about 4 rockets. And then the tier 9, you get about 5 rockets. And the tier 10, you get about 6 rockets, which seems pretty nice. Though I'm not sure how the tier 8 is right now, being a stock tier 8. It's kind of a little bit of a pain, but maybe it will get better with a 100 caliber gun. I don't want to sit here and say that the tier 7 is a weak link, but always when you're playing a stock vehicle and you get into those matches where you don't feel like your tank is going to do pretty well, when you don't get good matchmaking, where you're going to see those tier 9s and stuff. Yeah. But honestly, I gotta say I'm pretty excited to play through these tanks, and I can't wait to get them all unlocked. And probably you guys might want to stay tuned because I'm probably might more likely going to be getting tank reviews done on all these Chinese new rocket tanks. So stay tuned to the channel. I still got a few more premium tanks to do from the season. I still got to do the Type 59, which I got a gameplay for it. Just got to do the review of the tank, and then I got to do the BZT 70 for Cold War at Era 2, and then plus 2 other extra vehicles, plus maybe a few other ones as well. But definitely something I'm going to try to do and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely a big thing that we're going to be doing. The other 2 tanks is going to be the Vadar and the Duster, which is the thing. If you completed 6 different seasons, you have gotten both tanks for free. If you didn't complete 6 seasons, if you only completed 5, you've only gotten one for free. But if you only complete about 4 seasons, then you've only gotten a discount on both. But we're not here for those vehicles. We're here about these Chinese vehicles. And I'd like to know what you guys think about them. Do you like them? Have you played through them? Or are you thinking not to play through them? Maybe you're waiting till people do like tank reviews on them. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a tank review on them all as well myself once I get them all unlocked and stuff. I can't wait to get this big old beast here unlocked. Wonder if Wargaming nerfed these things from the PC version. Normally that's what happens. Wargaming does normally do that, but yeah. I like to know what you guys think. Are you liking these vehicles? If you have played them, which tier are you at? Are you at like tier 8, maybe tier 9, or are you at tier 10? And if you do have them, do you like them? Or if you don't want to play them, thinking you don't want to play these, let me know why you don't want to play through them. Or maybe if you're thinking of playing through them, which one are you excited for? Are you more excited for the tier 7, tier 8? Are you excited for tier 9? Or maybe possibly the end of the tier 10 with its 650 alpha with its AP round and 840 with HE? Yeah, with special damage, that's probably going to be a big thing. But, yep, you hear my dog playing with a toy in the background and stuff, all that. But I'm going to be ending it here there, guys. I'm sorry for the little bit of a wait. And, yeah. She's playing with a toy. It's one of her pit bulls. In the background, playing with a toy that squeaks, 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 and stuff. But that's gonna be it for this video, there, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, please leave a like on this video, the thumbs up button, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys want to. And like always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.